Welcome to the Imagine Not Being Leeds.
Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, everyone, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. Please do me a favour before we get into the video, smash me a like, please subscribe to the channel. Another little walk and talk, because why the hell not? Great day so far. Met Bill. You'll see Bill on his vlog on Sunday. Brilliant flow from America, first game. Yeah, against Brighton on Sunday, fantastic. Anyway, the video, Daniel Farke's presser. I just got to say, urge you all now to go watch the press conference. I'm going to paraphrase and go through my general emotion and what I took from it, watching it. But yeah, go watch it, get all the details for yourself. I urge you to do that. It's probably the best press conference we've seen in a long time. Daniel Farke obviously missed the last one due to illness. Comes out to speak about Brighton game today. Now, you know, we are secure, we are safe. The first time we've seen a press conference pre-game where we are safe with Daniel Farke. It touches on the injuries, you know, there's Ampadu's major out with illness. Gudmundsson's out, Gruev's out, we know that. Bogle's out, Okafor's out, Strauch's, you know, not trained. Depleted squad. Luckily, we've got nothing to play for. Yeah, 3 points, you know, more money for the club the higher we go, but luckily we don't need to win. It's not a case of we're in West Ham and Spurs' position where we need to out and get a result in these next two, because we have a depleted squad and we've been really lucky this season with injuries. We all know that, really lucky, really fortunate, but now we've been hit hard with them. And this week, you know, there's a likelihood that we don't even have Ampadu, which is would have been wild after his performance at last week, well, on Monday night, away at Spurs, to go into two massive crunch games where we need points to survive without him. So thank God that's not the case. But yeah, the main talking point of this presser, like I say again, I'll urge you all to go watch it, is he really speaks about his future. He speaks about his time at Leeds United, and let's sort of cut straight to it. It's like a farewell speech is the opening part of it. It's very much like he's saying his goodbyes to the club and to the fans. Quite an emotional watch. He speaks, again I'm paraphrasing, but he says the word he feels infected by the club. It's definitely got under his skin, like it does for a lot of ex-players that have played for us who weren't Leeds, who now are Leeds. You know, your Don Matteos, your Beckfords, many more. Ex-managers who weren't Leeds but now are since managing us. It's one of those clubs, it's tribal, it does get under your skin. You do, if you fall in love with it, you fall in love hard for Leeds United, you really do. It's like that ex you just can't let go of. And you know, he admits that, he says that he's just so embedded in everything Leeds United. And thanks everybody, the owners, the players, the fans. More importantly, he really speaks about the fans. Goes into detail about that, how everyone from day one has sort of made him feel welcome, and yeah, he understands the passion of the fans and be frustrated at times, but he's never once felt like it were personal or it was anything other than everyone just wanting Leeds United to succeed. And he loves the fan base, he loves everything about the club, and that was really nice to hear. You can see the emotion on his face was talking about Leeds. It certainly just oozes a club for me. And I've fallen in love with Daniel Farke recently after not being massively keen at certain points, and I've always openly admitted that. I'm all in on Daniel Farke at the minute. How I feel as a fan, I can't help that. It's what he's done with the players, what he's done with the club, and you know, the mini rebuilds he had to do for the last 3 years, to be fair, to get us to a position where we now have a squad of players that will bleed for the badge. And I think as a fan, that's all you can ask for. And it starts at the top. You know, the 49ers have done fantastic work after the last ownership model, but you know, Daniel Farke has done this. Daniel Farke is the reason we have this side playing this way and making us feel this way, which I'm thankful for. And I'd love to have the opportunity to tell him myself, thank you, Daniel Farke, I love you. But anyway, back to the video. But yeah, he's talking very much like it's a farewell speech. The thank yous go on quite a while, and it definitely feels like that. And he does say, job done, you know, mission completed. And we all know the mission for Leeds United under Daniel Farke was to get Leeds back in the Premier League. We knew that was the mission as far as I was concerned. Staying in the Premier League under Daniel Farke, we weren't sure as fans whether the 49ers actually wanted that, whether they were going to, you know, make a drastic change potentially after winning the championship title on 100 points, which would have felt harsh at the time, but we didn't know. Daniel Farke, by the looks, it probably knew that his job was safe. Bearing in mind there were whispers that he was maybe going to lose his job last summer. But the mission was, by the sounds of it now, get Leeds promoted. It took a year longer than maybe we wanted as fans and as a club. That first year was failure, obviously losing the playoff final, but gets promoted. And, you know, an extension of that job was cement Leeds in the Premier League for another year. Stay, you know, safety, guarantee safety. Don't go down. And he has said mission completed, job done. You know, I have no more to sort of do to complete that job. And at that point, you are thinking, he's going to tell us he's fucking leaving here. Which, like I say again, I will say it again, I urge you to go watch his actual press conference, because the way his body language, the way he's speaking, the way his face looks, yeah, I'm expecting any moment he's going to say, you know, I'm off. And then obviously he moves on then to talk about if he's still here, basically, in a nutshell. Once he's spoken to the club, obviously that's up to the club. The future, he has no say on what happens beyond that. Now the job is done. If he's still in charge, after speaking to the club, there needs to be a plan put in place for the next 3 to 5 years that shows progression. He mentions on a couple of occasions in this presser that he wants to be fighting higher up the league. He doesn't want to be, you know, involved in relegation battles. He wants to be fighting for something other than relegation fights. And I really like that ambition from Farke. We know, you know, he's usually fighting for promotion or struggling to stay in the Premier League. And at what point does that change in a coach's or manager's career? At what point does he start getting seen as a competent, decent Premier League manager? And I think with Daniel Farke, this is the first time we're at that point now where, you know, he's got to that level now where maybe he would be considered for another job. You know, if it didn't work out at Leeds, would he be considered for another job of another team maybe struggling in Premier League? Whereas before, I aren't so sure he would have been. I think he's always been seen as, you know, he'll take a job on at one of the promotion candidates in the Championship. Whereas now, maybe maybe Leeds United isn't the only club that would have him in the Premier League. And obviously, he's going to stay in my opinion. I don't think there's any doubt in that. But yeah, I do like how it feels now under Daniel Farke, and I'm dead chuffed for him in his career with the adversity he's had, that he's come through it now. And I do feel like for the first time in his career, he's got that confidence, I think, of owners potentially going forward at other clubs and the game, the wider game, as opposed to just Leeds fans who are seeing the good stuff that he's done this season. And it does come from Daniel Farke. So yeah, the press conference started as a goodbye and then ended with there needs to be goals set. He wants to be pushing up the table, looking at, you know, different ambitions beyond just surviving. He says in previous years the aim's been to survive. He wants to push beyond that. You know, we've seen multiple reports prior to this season saying the goal beyond this season, if we stay up, is 16th or 17th again the year after and the year after that. I understand staying in the division is paramount, but Daniel Farke wants more than that. He wants more than that. You can see it. There's going to be a player turnaround this summer. And I think he wants to build a squad that's ambitious, that will be pushing. You know, he speaks again, we're closer to Europe than we are relegation zone. I think the season's going to end a little bit earlier than what, maybe if it didn't, we'd you know, maybe if there were 5 or 6 games left in this form, this many points away, would you rule us out if there were an extra few games on top of these last 2? Maybe making a little run into European places? I won't rule us out. It's just going to end a little bit too early for where we are now in our form after that rough start to the season. But yeah, it's a really, really good interview. Like I say, I've come for a bit of a walk. I'm just sort of talking about the fields and how he sort of touches on his remarks during that presser. But if you go back and watch it from the horse's mouth, it's a really, really good piece, really interesting. But certainly I get the feeling now, to sort of wrap this video up, that I think he is staying. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that he's going. Is it a bit of a power play move, potentially, to get the 49ers to maybe look at Farke like a serious player here and go, yeah, this guy means business. I like how he's speaking. He's got a bit of swag about him for me. Said all the right stuff, but also showing that ambition that you want to see, that I want to see as a fan, from a manager that once upon a time I weren't sure were that ambitious or had this in him. Is it a power play to the 49ers where now they're going to sit back, watch that and go, we back this man. This is the man you back. This is the kind of manager we want at Leeds United. And I think right now he's got the most amount of Leeds fans in palm of his hand than he's ever had, Daniel Farke. I don't think he's ever had as many fans in love with the project, affectionate towards himself, than he has right now. And yeah, there'll still be the odd one that comes out of the woodwork, and there's still the odd one that might come on and say, Matty, it's not all that. And I've heard you at certain times, I've been with you at certain times, but it's hard right now to not feel anything but admiration and love for a manager that I think is going places, at a club that's going places, and I expect him to carry on next season and push on again and progress. But yeah, really interesting, and I really love to get your guys' thoughts. Do you think what a power play move by Farke, sounding out the board, letting him know his thoughts, or do you think potentially maybe that is he knows he's got 2 games left, the 49ers are going to look elsewhere to improve and kick on next season under a different manager? What are your thoughts? Really intriguing to see, but a great press conference. But yeah, go watch it for the detail. You know what I'm like, a bit all over the shop, but yeah, wanted to get my thoughts out. But yeah, take care. I will see you tonight, late night Leeds at 10 o'clock. Make sure you're back. It'll be going up soon, but 10 o'clock, late night Leeds. A couple of hours of fun with me, AG Boss Nas. And the Onion is back tonight, Mr. Priestley, for the quiz. We have a quiz about 10:30. If you don't know, get to know, and I will see you then. Take care. Please like, please subscribe. Love yous.